So Leinster versus Toulouse, the sides are out. Let's do a little bit of a reaction to those selections, also a bit of a hype video in general, because this is going to be so close, or I think it's going to be so close. The bookies have it within a point. I'd love to know who you think's going to get this one. I'm going to tell you my gut call at the end of the video. But there is history here, and of course both these sides are the most decorated sides in the Champions Cup. Can Leinster get a 5th star on this shirt, or can Toulouse stretch ahead to 6 stars? Two of the top sides in the world, if not the two top club sides in the world. Last year in the final, Leinster of course were 17-0 up after 12 minutes, but an amazing La Rochelle comeback sunk them there by a single point. And the year before that, they were rocked by a 79th minute try to lose narrowly as well. So do Leinster have more demons to exercise than Toulouse? Does that mean you have more motivation or more nerves if it gets close? I don't know, but Toulouse have their own painful recent history as well. But in the semi-finals, to no less than Leinster, getting well beaten 41-22 last year in the semis, and similarly 40-17 in 2022. And these, of course, are mainly the same players as well. So there's going to be that mental baggage or motivation, however you want to see it, falling short over the last couple of seasons. And for one, of course, it's going to be that heartbreak once again. And for one, they're going to go into the history books, either, like I said, stretching ahead or levelling with 5 wins each. So the embroiderers are going to have to get busy on those shirts to get more stars there. So basically, I don't think you could get a better final. The quality is going to be international quality, because the players are pretty much all internationals anyway, and easily the biggest club game in the world. Just a little word on the referee. Everyone was talking about Luke Pearce being the main man at the moment, getting the whistle, but it's gone to another Englishman, Matthew Carley, and surely this is a nod to both sides really contesting that ruck hard, pushing at different angles, entering the ruck funnily, hands on the ground. Jack Willis will be trying to get hold of that ball. We've got Will Connors selected as well for Leinster, so they're going to want to get Matt Carley to get a hold of this ruck and lay out the law so it's nice and clean if that's possible. So I think that's why he was selected. So expect some early marker penalties maybe, so the ref just reinforces what he's obviously said before to the teams in the changing room. And of course, styles make fights, and lots of talk's been about the Leinster press defence, the rush defence under Jacques Nienaber, of course. But I think Toulouse kind of have the perfect game to counter it if they want, because they are very happy at saying, we're not going to play side to side, we're just going to go off 9, off Dupont, and then Dupont will do his little breaks, suck players in, give it to massive forwards, or break himself, and if possible they get into that offloading game nice and tight, and then all bets are off. And of course that negates a swift press on the outside, so they could say to Leinster, fine, you rush us as much as you want, keep closing out the outside because we're not going there. We're either running nice and straight off 9 or kicking, and just try and tire out that Leinster defence by really making them superfluous. So it'll be interesting to see if they go wide straight away or go to that round the corner basic game, because they're very happy to play unstructured and simple rugby, but when the chance presents itself, just go absolutely ballistic with the offloads. And conversely, of course, we know Leinster have a very structured game, but it is so well rehearsed, it looks perfectly fluid and quite natural, and if that gets going, it doesn't matter how good a defence is, they can pick you apart through sheer number of quick phases, getting in behind, just a little bit in behind every single time, and eventually a gap opens up. But with the semi-finals being two quite similar teams facing each other, of course we had Northampton and Leinster, who are both great systems teams, and then we had Harlequins and Toulouse, who are a bit more off the cuff. This time it's a bit more like a cobra facing a mongoose, where the cobra's got deadly venom, with Leinster with all its plays, and the mongoose has the antidote, and they can just react and play off the cuff. So could it be like that? And I'm telling you now, my prediction, if he had to push me, is I just think there's that extra bit of magic, maybe in Toulouse, even though I'm wearing my Leinster shirt, and I love Leinster, don't get me wrong, that Dupont factor, that little bit of offloading magic, even if it's close, I think could be the difference. But goodness me, I'd quite happily see Leinster win, and they could easily win if they get on a roll. So let's have a look at these teams, because there were a few changes for Leinster, and they're in a good position where they can leave out really good players from the 15 or from the 23 completely. So that's why these sides are so strong. Mainly the changes on the Leinster side. So let's go through that. Of course, the front row was never going to change. Porter, Sheehan, Furlong, and they're against Bailly, Malvaka and Aldeghiri. So absolutely set. We know what we're going to get there. Who's going to get the nudge in the scrum? If anyone's going to get the nudge, they've got Mayafu behind the tight head. That's a big one. In the second row for Leinster, Joe McCarthy is with Jason Jenkins, but James Ryan is back, and that pushes Maloney out. Really tough on him. Someone had to miss out, and Ryan's come back at the right time. He's played a game, but he's not starting. I think that's about right. But what an impact off the bench. And if you're talking about impact off the bench, they've got former World Player of the Year, Josh van der Flier, not good enough to start, and he's coming off the bench. That is insane. What other club sides would have van der Flier on the bench? Will Connors again has come back from injury and played a game, and he is so quick over the ball. He is a really, really hot player, and he's pushed out the World Player of the Year. You're not going to move Caelan Doris from his best position at 8. He's the captain anyway, and you're not going to get rid of Ryan Baird because he's been on fire this year as well, galloping absolutely everywhere. The centres, well, Ringrose is still out, so that wasn't going to change between Osborne and Henshaw. Aki and Costas, I've been so impressed with them for Toulouse. Aki is the power man. Costas looks quite small, but he's an absolute beast. Horror to play against. And with Toulouse, I thought maybe they'd change around their back three. I had a really good discussion with the guys in the comments about Blair Kinghorn versus Thomas Ramos, daring to suggest that maybe Kinghorn has the better attacking game. He is better under the high ball, that's fair enough. And plenty of pushback saying, no, Thomas Ramos has got a really good attacking game as well. But Ramos stays on the bench, so he won't be happy with that. You've kind of got your best goal kicker on the bench, laser straight goal kicker. Kinghorn kicks with a little bit of a curl. It is a risk, but maybe they're going for that stability of keeping the same selection. So Malia and LaBelle, they stay on the wings. Maybe I thought Kinghorn would go to a wing and Ramos on. Anyway, so the only other change there is we see change in the back row replacement. Castro Ferreira is out, and the son of the former Irish player, Joshua Brennan, he is on there as the back row / another second row replacement. On the bench for Leinster, we see James Ryan there, like I said, coming on, and Maloney missing out. Conan so unlucky not to start, but you can displace Doris from number 8? Probably not, but he's been amazing. Then Frawley kind of covers everywhere from 10 to the outside backs, allowing a 6-2 split. I mean, Jimmy O'Brien could have done a similar job to Frawley, but he's ahead of him in the pecking order, and because they're going 6-2, it means Harry Byrne and Jimmy O'Brien, neither of them get on the bench, so they're going to be devastated because they'd have loved to be in this final, of course, but it means they've got 2 back rows on the bench, and goodness me, Conan and Josh van der Flier coming on. Any side in the world would love that. Any international side in the world would love that. But just that little factor in the half-backs, I just think Dupont and Intermac is slightly better than Gibson Park and Ross Byrne. Even though Gibson Park has been on fire, Ross Byrne is a good, solid player, definitely, but he is no Roman Intermac. And again, if they play off 9, Roman Intermac can happily just have a run. He doesn't have to pass the ball. And Dupont can have a run and a jink, and anything can happen with these guys. I think there's just a tiny bit more there. So I'm swaying to Toulouse, but happy to sway the other way very soon, and happy to see a 5th star on this shirt if that is to be as well. So what do you think of these selections? Have they got it right? How is this crazy game going to go? Cannot wait. If you like these sorts of videos, please subscribe, please like, that would be amazing. Get in those comments, and I'll catch you next time.